Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH, and it's answering your financial questions with Coach Steve Money. Saturdays and Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Just waiting to make sure we got audio. And we do. Excelente. You are watching this upon youtube.com/coachstevemoney, and so for my other financial content, you can just go to the main page, youtube.com/coachstevemoney, and you scroll down past the Oak Island. Oak Island stuff is my biggest views getter. The past live streams and no, there's Oak Island as well. What is that? Oh, videos, past live streams, then the different playlists, Oak Island, Skinwalker Ranch, and then, of course, there's your answering your financial questions. That's the weekend stream. And that's that playlist. And also the Ramsey Show After Show is a different playlist where I talk about extra things other than doing just questions like I do on the answering your financial questions. I also, in the Ramsey Show After Show, occasionally will sing a Ramsey adjacent song, and there are 11 of those in the music playlist. Listen to those if you are so inclined. What up, Aslan? Weekend has been nice. It has been. Thank you so very much. Hope yours has as well. Okay, let's get into the questions. We go to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey, sort by new, and then I go to the bottom and find the last one I did, which are the last two I did were these two. So that means I haven't done this one. So let's get into it. Dapperfield 5591. Dilemma as to put 35K into mortgage, IRA, or children's 529. All right. I opened this already because I saw it was gonna be a little bit longer than what we'll show on just the main page. I am receiving approximately $35,000 from a class action lawsuit I was lucky enough to be a part of. I am having trouble deciding if I should dump it in the mortgage, my very late started Roth IRA, or my children's healthy 529 account. I have no debt except for a mortgage, which I pay one extra payment per year on. That's not enough. The interest rate, 5.5%, doesn't matter. I have about 6 months worth of savings, okay, and I don't know how if that should be 6 months of your expenses, your necessary expenses, is what that emergency fund should be. Initial thoughts are max out the Roth IRA for this year and dump the rest into the mortgage. Kiddos are 3 and 5. We have typically vacationed once a year to Disney, and I hadn't planned anything for this one too. You mean this year? Or this coming year? Because it is almost November. Another part of me wants to take the family on a Disney cruise. Legit investment ideas are welcome, but advice within bounds is also greatly appreciated. Thanks. I love these people. Advice within bounds. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean just within the 35K amount of it, or other stipulations that you have not named here? But regardless, I give the Dave Ramsey advice on here. And so what that would be is any extra money. It doesn't matter if it's inheritance, doesn't matter if it's $1 million or $1, any extra money gets applied to whatever baby step you're on. And so you're on 4, 5, and 6 right now. Said there is it's a healthy 529 account for the kids, and they are still really young. So I would probably do 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time. Since you're already doing that one, I would max out. The Roth IRA can only be if you are under 50 years old, you can only do $7,000 a year. So definitely max that out for the year. And you may want to keep enough to max that out for the next year as well, which you can do January 1st. But hopefully you should be doing 15% of gross income into retirement. So you should be doing more than the Roth IRA, especially since you very late started that. So would need more information from this person to see if they are doing any other investing. But so I would do, like I said, I would max it out for this year, the rest of this year. And then on January 1st, you can max it out for 2025. But everything else out of that, so that might be 14, so that might be give you 21K extra. The rest of that I would put it in the house, since you said the 529 is healthy. So that means you're on schedule with that. And so, yeah, I would put it on the mortgage and need to start trying to put more on that than just the equal of one more payment a year. I mean, granted, you have money going to vacationing once a year to Disney and whatever else is in your budget. You have money going out as well. But the idea is to pay that off early, and it's not going to get paid that off early doing just one extra payment a year. And so that would be what I would recommend on this. More to the investments, definitely for this year, maybe for next year as well, and that's only $14,000 combined if you're under 50, and 1,000 more if you are not. If they keep it the same, I think they can still change it. I think they announced it in November. If they are being changed, it's tied to, as part of the Secure Act, it's tied to the inflation rate. So there may be extra catch up. So if you're over 50, you can do a catch up amount. Currently, that's 1,000, and it may stay at 1,000, but it could also go up. But anyway, somewhere around in there, we would be 14,000, maybe 15,000 for both years, and then you would have still 20,000. Around 20,000, I would put that on the mortgage then. If you think you need a vacation, okay, fine. What is that, 5K? And then I'd put 15 on the mortgage then. So you're the one on 4, 5, and 6. You're the one that gets to decide all this stuff, but all the extra spending makes it take longer to finish the baby steps. Well, they're never done, but it takes you longer to get to step 7. What up, Trey? Mama call him Trey. Daddy call him Trey. I call him Trey. My weekend has been fabulous, Trey. Thanks for asking. Buckeyes had too much trouble yesterday. Commanders had too much trouble tonight. Fortunately, got a Hail Mary completion for the W against the Bears. That's right, Aslan's marathon yesterday. Happy with time. Hopefully not too sore, Aslan. She enjoys running and swimming, and both help mental health. Excellent. Next question. PUJ22, is it okay for me to buy my dream car? And again, like I always say this, you can just do it and not worry about what Dave Ramsey thinks about it. Most people will not follow his advice. So I don't know. Let's see what he says. I see. We got a War and Peace here. Looks like. Let's see. How long? No, not too long. Hello, I see clips of Dave Ramsey on the internet, and I like his financial mindset and how frugal he usually is. But for this time, I want to do something different. I recently inherited a large sum of money, the S-U-M, not S-O-M-E, of money. 2 different words, 2 different meanings. And I wanted to get the opinion of people here if it is okay for me to buy my dream car, McLaren 750S. The only one that should make that decision is you. I mean, I understand getting people's opinions on it, but you need to make the choice. And, you know, especially if you're going to ask, and then if I say no, and then you say, well, I'm going to get it anyway. So that makes all this a waste of time. But not for me, because I use it for content. So there you go. I was planning to wait a couple years first and use profits I made from investments to pay for the car. That way, I never have less money than what was given to me. Okay. I figured that if you would put that inheritance to the baby steps, unless you're on baby step 7. So let's see. I figured that if I ask this question here, it might get some strong criticism, but that may actually be super helpful. Any input you guys have is very good. Thank you. Oh, that's an edit. Should I have included this info, right? Father passed away 2 years ago. I was left with approximately $13 million, and today it has grown over to just over $2 million. How much is the McLaren? Turning 21 soon, still a baby, still in college and plan to graduate, then work in PE, physical education. And once I've got all that settled and I'm stable, I want to look into getting the car. I don't have any debt right now because I was lucky enough to have amazing supporters for my college tuition payments. And the school is close to my home, so my family allows me to stay with them. Well, that is fabulous. But, you know, you do worry when somebody gets a ton of money like that early in life and you never have not lived with family. You might have a rough time with that. But as far as just the car itself, I don't think there's a need to spend that much money on the car at all. So, but if you invested that money and it already made 2 million, and if the car is under 2 million, I mean, and you're saying you want to keep it always worth 15 million or 13 million because that's what you were left at, and so you don't want to touch that principal basically. That's fine. I would just ask you to consider if you need that car. Most, millionaires don't really drive around in McLarens. Most millionaires keep it simple and realize that, I mean, the only thing that's going to happen with that thing is it's going to get scratched. It's going to get scratched. Okay? And on something that costs that much, that, you just got to be in a situation where you understand it for what it is, and it's a vehicle, and a vehicle that costs that much is basically like a toy, and so you got to have a toy mentality with that. So it's your money. You can do whatever you want. The Ramsey advice would probably be, well, I don't know. I mean, he does, since you have that many millions of dollars and you have the attitude where you're never going to touch that 13 million that you were originally inherited rather, then, I would like to know some other things from you, probably get some other info from you. But like I said, you not knowing how to live on your own yet at all, I mean, that's dangerous to be going into the world with that much money. But you say you're turning 21 soon, so that means going to be graduating soon, and then I'm assuming move out. So you got to have money to do that. So you don't want to take your extra money that you made from investments if you're not working elsewhere. You don't want to spend all of that on a car. So that's the kind of thing I would ask this person to think about. I would think about the future rather than right now where you want one of the most expensive cars in the entire world at 21 years old. Alrighty. Trunk or treat. You know what that is? Is that where you have your the candy in your trunk of your car? Harry Ty, 1781, baby step 1 flare, highest interest, lowest amount, student loan paid off. Okay, great. Happened to be, I guess, the lowest amount and the highest interest. Congratulations. Just sharing that I paid off my highest interest yet lowest amount student loan today. Fabulous. I'm fortunate that my lowest amounts are the highest interest rate, so both Snowball and Avalanche are in effect. Only $110,000 to go. Alrighty. Actually, if you paid that off, you would be in baby step 2, sir or madam. Genzide 7, frequent poster on here. Just paid off my car. Woohoo! Debt free for the time being. What do you mean for the time being? It's supposed to be forever. If you're debt free now, you don't ever go into debt for anything except maybe a house that you use as your residence. Okay, where to go from here? You do the baby steps. You keep going on the baby steps. Baby step 3 is your full emergency fund, and then 4, 5, and 6 you do that one first. Step 3 first, and then 4, 5, and 6 you do all at the same time. And again, that's investing 15% of gross income for retirement, saving for kid college if that applies, and paying off your mortgage early if you already have one. So you would do, if like neither of those apply, no children yet, or if you don't have a mortgage, as soon as you start investing, congratulations, you're on step 7. But the idea is that you continue doing these things. And so if you don't have a house now but would like to buy one, you would do baby step 3B. You still have to finish baby step 3, the full emergency fund first, but then you would start saving for your down payment right there where it doesn't say 3B right there. So that's where you go from here. And yeah, I don't like the attitude of for the time being. I don't like that. So do not do that. And it's easy to do. You just don't buy anything unless you save up the cash for it first. Stack'ems, baby step 3, flare here. Gazelle intensity to rebuild, baby step 3, emergency fund after dipping into it. You don't dip into it unless it's for what, kids? What's the answer, class? What does it say right here? It says emergency fund. Let's see what happened. How do you folk typically refund your emergency fund? Do you pause all baby step 4, 5, and 6? You shouldn't be doing any of those while you don't have a full emergency fund. And you use those funds to replenish over time, or do you liquidate stuff to immediately replenish? That's a good question. I'm sure you do all different things, but the thing I'm worried more about than how you do use a gazelle intensity, because that's just like you being on baby step 3 for the first time. You don't have a full emergency fund. And so that is pretty important, and you do that before steps 4, 5, and 6. So if you took a large chunk out of it, then yes, you pause everything other than putting every extra cent into the full emergency fund. So yeah, and baby step 4, that's false. You're back in baby step 3 because you dipped into it, and I hope that was an emergency. Or you're doing it wrong. I mean, I guess it's better like if it's not, a health emergency or anything like that. But that's what it's for. It's for emergencies, not something that you want and you think you need it. Comfortable humor, 2390, decision on what to pay. It's not that difficult, people. Hello everyone, hi guys. I'm currently baby step 2. I have my $1,000 emergency fund firmly in place. Fabulous. That would be step 1. Congratulations. Done. So now time to do step 2, just like you're doing. I recently got a $1,150 bonus. My debts are as follows, and I'm not sure what to pay. The interest rate doesn't matter. Debt snowball. That means smallest to largest. See, it says it right there, and that's smallest total amount owed for that particular lender or credit card. So the high interest, again, doesn't matter because the debt snowball is the recommended method because most people are more motivated to stay on this plan if they get the more wins earlier by paying off and closing more accounts earlier, as opposed to, I want to do the highest interest because it's the highest interest. And then guess what? That doesn't do you any good if it's going to take you 2 or 3 years to pay that off, since you're doing that one first very dumbly. And if you quit after a year, having 2 more years to go to even pay off that one debt, that has not done you any good whatsoever, because you still have all the smaller debts as well. So medical 200, that's what you would pay off first. It's smallest to largest. Don't need to read all the rest of them. It's smallest to largest. Baby step 2, it says smallest to largest right there. And it doesn't say smallest to largest on the Ramsey list of them. It says using the debt snowball, but debt snowball is smallest amount to largest amount. Oh, that sounds fun, Trey. Hope you had a great time. Mindless Quail 8265. Baby step 3.5 is save 20% for a home. That is false. It's baby step 3B. And the Dave Ramsey. And also, you don't have to do 20%. That's best, so you don't have to pay for PMI, private mortgage insurance, that insures the lender. It doesn't give you any insurance. It insures the lender if you don't make your mortgage payments. But so you can do, a first-time home buyer can do 10%. So that is your choice. Definitely better to do 20, so you don't have to do that. I worked it into my plan that baby step 3.5 is save 20% at home. What do you all think? Well, you didn't make that up, even if you think you did. It's been baby step 3B forever. It's just not in here. So the exact same spot. So I don't know. No telling. Could just be a troll trying to get people to argue with him about that it's already been a step and he didn't make it up or whatever. Who knows? Or he may have not ever seen it and thought of it too. Never know. Jay Sally, baby step 2, use part of the 1K emergency fund to pay down credit cards. I don't see that anywhere else. I don't see that anywhere. And so save $1,000 as fast as possible. And you are aware, sir, and probably she is too. The girlfriend has the question. It's the 1K EF. And if you don't know what EF means, it means emergency fund. So let's see. She has a credit card at about $1,000, 401k loan at about $3,000. She wants to get the credit card monkey off her back and use $600 of the 1K emergency fund. Okay, is paying off that credit card an emergency? No, it wasn't. It wasn't enough of the emergency to not get the dumb credit card at all to begin with, was it? That's not an emergency. You keep the emergency fund. Guess what it's used for? Not to take it like this person did, which I don't know if it was for an emergency or not. Who knows? You're not supposed to do that. You use it if it's an emergency and paying off debt. You should be gazelle intense about it, but it's not. You don't use your emergency fund. It doesn't say save $1,000 and then if you want to use some to pay off debt, you can. That's a no. You're thinking wrong. Too much thinking, not enough doing. And then pay the rest off with CZ and rebuild the 1K emergency at the same time. That's a no. She says it will help her pay off the CR credit card faster. That's true, but then you have no emergency fund. I told her it would not because now she'll be making half payments to the CC and half payments to help rebuild the emergency fund. Right. And you don't do that. Like, so when you saved $1,000, you weren't putting half of that money to the first $500 to the emergency fund and then another $500 to the debt, were you? Why not? Oh, because you said this says you saw this says save $1,000 as fast as possible, and it doesn't say use that money to do that. And unfortunately, like every baby step needs a freaking page underneath it to tell you not to do the stuff people think that they should do. Or since they have more time than they are working, apparently, if you're out working, you wouldn't have so much time to think about different ways to do the baby steps incorrectly. Yeah, you don't do that. And I have a fabulous song for this. It's called How to Do the Baby Steps Right, and it includes this exact dumb thing that people think of. Part of the line is what? You don't add to the sum, you don't make it more than $1,000 while you still have debt, non-mortgage debt. You don't have any 1 cent more than $1,000 in your emergency fund. So that's a no. Another thing that's in the song is you don't use this money to pay off debt. No, 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 no. Alrighty. Hopefully your girlfriend figured it out. It's from 2 days ago. Who knows what could have happened. Lover of Prime, 75K debt-free and cash flow positive. A testimony. All right. When I started baby step 2, let's see what the whole thing is here. Let's see. When I started baby step 2, my monthly bills totaled $4,800. 2 years later, I paid off $75K and bills totaled $2,800, including my mortgage. Oh, that's per month. And no debt now except the mortgage, hopefully. I started with an income of $69K a year, and as of today, my year-to-date is $109K. Congratulations. Commission job, and I'm in my first 6 months. I made $40K in just the last 2 months. Fabulous. So I'm excited and motivated to see what 2025 brings. I still have an SBA loan. Beep, beep, boo-doo. Guess what? That's personal debt. You signed for it. That doesn't go in a different category. That's baby step 2 right there. I'm sorry. And student loan, $70K. That's step 2 as well. Yeah, so $148,000 more to pay off. Congratulations on paying off the 75. You got twice as much as that left to go. But with my increase in pay, I know I'll breeze through it even faster. You should, especially if you... excuse me, if you don't up your lifestyle with your increase in pay, don't do that. Instead, wait on that until you are debt free, and then you can up your lifestyle a little bit. I have some work on my house that needs to be done. Roof is very damaged, so it may be. It's going to cost about $12K to replace. But I will be paying for that out of pocket, cash, come the springtime. And that's exactly how you should do it. You should, rather than put it on a card and then use all your cash, all your extra money to pay off debt. You don't add to the debt while also paying it off. You would just not pay as much off and cash flow anything that was necessary, which that roof may be, the way you're describing it could be. I feel blessed, grateful, and deserving. I thank the big man upstairs every day because he's helped me persevere. I underwent a total lifestyle change to make this possible. Fabulous. A lot of crying has been done in the last 2 years. LOL. I have $140K left to pay off. You're right. Don't feel a bead of sweat. Great. It doesn't have to make you anxious as long as you understand the need to get rid of it. I hope this serves as a piece of hope and encouragement for those that are doubting themselves or having trouble seeing the light. It gets easier, I promise. It does. Here for the soulmates. Recommend someone like Dave. What's wrong with Dave? Hey guys, I love Dave and his team because of the energy / philosophy / values they present. I don't have debt, and honestly, I feel like, for me, secure financially. But I just listen to the show because I like their spirit. Can anyone recommend other YouTube channels with the same spirit? No. No, I mean, nobody else has the same philosophy, the no debt philosophy. Really, I mean, there's the Andres Gutierrez, who used to work for Dave, and now he still teaches the baby steps in Spanish, and he has his own YouTube show, I believe, daily, but that is in Spanish, of course. But other than that, they generally do debt leverage. All the other, I don't know of anyone else that completely says no debt ever for anyone. Like, there's some other ones. One of them says you shouldn't have debt if you can't handle it, but that's a freaking waste of time for me, for them to have part of their steps being, well, you can try it, and then if you can't do it, then you have to get rid of all of it. That wastes time for the person trying to follow the advice. That's waste time. So even people that can handle it don't need to do that to be very successful with money. So I wouldn't say anyone does. There are some that are close, but nobody has the same philosophy and values. The energy, if you count, I mean, there's Caleb Hammer, if you count anxiousness as energy. So, you know, that could be, but as far as the philosophy and the values, that would be a no, I don't think. Mine, of course. You can watch this show. How about that? I will say, I don't like it when Dave goes extra mean. I like tough love, but not mean or angry. That's not tough love. That's just love. Because people need that crap. Because they're dumb. They're trying to make dumb decisions. And so they need to be told like that. You know, you can't, oh, honey, here's what you can do. Oh, it's okay if you do a little bit of debt. No, they don't need that. As bad as Dave is okay, but less angry is better. Thank you, Edit. Could be any topic whatsoever, just same feel. No, I don't know any like non-financial ones that would have the same philosophy and values either. Again, my show. Pure Cash Money. Payday loans, that's a no. Interesting username when you take out payday loans. I found myself in a bit of a pickle. I'm about to start baby step 1. I just finished so-called baby step 0 by getting current on all my bills. However, I can't find a way to make the numbers work to pay anything but my minimum payments. Well, you screwed up then, sir or madam. I literally have to donate plasma to maintain my 4 walls and make my minimum payments. You're going to have to work more or cut out some things that you have in your budget that you apparently think are necessary. But they're not. Primarily because I'm trying to settle up on a bunch of payday loans that have astronomically high interest rates with high biweekly payments. For example, one of my loans is 12. So, okay, so if you are behind in those and they're not in collections yet, then those are not current. So you didn't finish so-called baby step 0. And there's a bunch of stuff involved in baby step 0, not just the getting current. It's also where you decide you're not going to do dumb stuff like loans again, especially payday loans. That is dumb. People do it because, oh, it gives me money right then, and so that way I can get whatever I want, and hopefully it's something really, really important that you absolutely 100% needed, but then that only works for, what, until the first payment is done, and then you have problems. So that's not an answer. People think it's an answer. It's not an answer. It just brings up more problems. High biweekly payments. For example, one of my loans is $1,200 loan with $286 payment made biweekly on a 12-month term. Uh, 12-month term, so that's two. So that's 24 payments of that. That's 24. That's $4,800. That's $4,800 for a $12,000 loan. Right? That is right, right? Made bi-weekly on a... Oh, no, it's more... It's bi-weekly. Okay, so a month is 4 weeks. My bad. I forgot that. So it's even more than that? Oh, my goodness gracious. So that's even more. So you make 286 payments. If you saved up for 4 weeks, you could have got that $1,200 that way then. My goodness. That is crazy. Does anyone know how to get out of these loans? No, you have to pay it off. You have to settle with them somehow. Maybe it will be less than the total amount if you settle it. No, I haven't. I never did a payday loan. I was smart enough not to do that. Fortunately, made a lot of other dumb mistakes, and that's why I feel fine calling everybody else dumb, because I used to do the same dumb stuff. I was thinking my best choice might be to call them, sure, yeah, and tell them I would pay the principal plus $100 or so, and if that won't work, I'll just declare bankruptcy, as the minimums on my debt is nearly the same as my total monthly income. Well, you could work more. Bankruptcy should be the last option. You could work more and stop spending money on, again, things that aren't necessary, but that you still spend money on. So I would try that first, and again, bankruptcy would be the last option I would have. And the thing to do would have just been to do without that $1,200. $1,200. What the heck was that for? I bring in $3,500 a month. The rent is $1,400. Utilities $175. Food and transportation are $300 a month. And $300 a month for just food. 75. You could possibly get that down some from 300. Literally cut everything else off my life. Okay, that's great. Let's see what the deal. Loan for divorce attorney, $11,009. Dumb. You didn't need a loan for that. You could have worked out a payment schedule with the divorce attorney, or not paid somebody $11,000 to do that for you. The car, sell the car. It sell for $8,000. This is underwater. Okay, that's fine. If you can still get somebody to loan you money, you can, not a payday loan, but from a bank. If you can get one, you get a $16,000 loan, and that takes that. You would still owe the $8,000 off of that. Not a $16,000, but a $8,000 loan, and that would cover the difference. That's how you do sell underwater vehicles. And the payday loan there, and the payday loan there, and the payday loan there. That means $226.74 in monthly payments. So 300 and 150, that's 450. Does that include those? I don't know if it includes that or not, but yeah. So yeah. So you got to work more. Work more, cut other things out, sell the car. That car takes away $15,000. Granted, you have to find a way to get around otherwise. Buy a $2,000 car that runs. You got a lot of doing to do. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but you can get out of this. But you basically have to just work and sleep, and so then you don't need streaming services or other things that you're paying for, no eating out, etc., etc. But yeah, bankruptcy should be the last thing that you do. It is toddler raising talk in the chat. Fun times. Underscore Twan underscore step 2 is a doozy. How is this plan? Why don't you just do baby step 2? The plan is already written for you. You don't have to think of your own way to do it. It says pay off debt smallest to largest using that snowball method. How about that? Why not do it that way? Let's see what the rest of it is. 4 debts outside my condo mortgage. Tightening up budget and not spend on card. Has been 6 months for Cap One, 2 months for Apple with no new charges. Fabulous. That is the one thing to do. An Apple card with freaking $5,500 to $100 on it. What did you buy with the freaking Apple card? My goodness. Okay. Well, let's can't change that. So let's see what the plan is. Tightening up budget approved. Working more is also approved. You don't have that on there. Continue paying PayPal credit and motorcycle as I have been. Accrue 0 interest on PayPal and pay off motorcycle on term. That's a no as well. You do smallest to largest, which is still the PayPal credit. And then you would pay off the Capital One credit, and then the motorcycle, and then the Apple card. It is smallest to largest is what it says on the baby steps list. So you might want to read that. Continue to pay. So you're trying to do it your own way, and you can do it your own way if you want. That way has not been proven to work. So nobody knows. Pay $4.50 a month to cover the 0% APR transfer, and that's too much. You're scheming and scamming with the 0% interest transfers. Do not do that. Pay it off instead. If I say discipline within my budgeting, I see myself debt-free in 12 to 13 months from now, possibly sooner if I cut out some bad habits, eating out for lunch. Yeah, do that. Not if. Don't let it be an if. You just definitely do that. Get a raise or get a second job. Yeah, not if. You just do that. How does it look? Should I be doing something differently? Yeah, you should follow the baby steps instead. See what it says right here. It says, pay off debt smallest to largest using that snowball method. That's what it says right there. It's very easy to understand. So it looks like you put a lot of thought into it trying to finesse stuff. Do not do that. That does not help you. That does not get it done faster. This way, the way that's written, Dave's plan as formulated, is what gets you to the end fastest. Everybody thinks they have a way to do it better. Feisty Melon 98. I struggle with the 1K emergency fund. Okay, so I get that Dave understands that $1,000 is not enough. That's right, it's not. It's not supposed to be enough. And if you don't want to follow his advice, you can have more savings than that. Can anyone offer me some type of resolve for making the decision to drop my emergency fund from $18,000 to $1,000 to aggressively pay off the debt? If paying off the debt's more important to you, if having the debt should scare you. If you have freaking over $17,000 worth of debt, if you have that much, that having debt should scare you more than not having more than $1,000 emergency fund. Like we're still making very aggressive payments, like we are, and on all the debt, and I've slowed down on adding money to the emergency fund and savings. But the way this weather has been set up, I'm just don't know. What do you mean weather? 18K is the 4.5 month emergency fund. Well, you're not on that step. You're not on step 3 yet to have a full emergency fund. Anything more than 1,000. Instead of people debt-free late 2026, we would be debt-free late 2025. Instead of people debt-free, I don't understand this. Including debt minus payments. Instead of, oh, I see. So for late 2026, if you do it your dumb way that you think is better, you know, it's your money and your life. You can do it whatever way you want to, and you don't even have to ask on a subreddit. You don't even have to run it by the baby steps. You could just make up whatever way you want to do it, and you can do it. But that's a year, and that's how this is designed to make you get out of freaking debt faster and have the full emergency fund faster than the dumb way that you want to do it. Stop being dumb. It's been figured out for you. Trust me, 30 years he's been doing this. Millions of documented success stories, all right? And so if you want to do it, knock yourself out. But again, then there's no reason to ask anybody else about it. Ayer 16899. Any success stories from married couples that had different levels of intensity? You just got to compromise, just like always. And with the when marriage is part of it, that is a big part of it, then you might have to compromise even on the baby steps. And so if you want to keep your marriage together, I would advise that any compromise that you come up with, and that means you both can live with it. It's not your preferred thing, but you both can live with it. That's like a middle ground. That supersedes the baby steps for you. The baby steps are not in play for you then if your spouse will not agree to 100% do it 100% like that. Then you have to do what you guys agree on. And if you can't come to a compromise on that, then you might need some counseling for that. Because married people should be able to compromise about anything. J Bowles 1994, second debt paid off. 42 days after paying off the first. I paid off the second. And the third one is in sights to go down in November. Let's go. We stay going, J Bowles. Baby step 2 flare. And yes, you see this? How this has happened 42 days after the first one. This is how you stay motivated by more payouts happening faster by doing the smallest to largest. It's written, all of these are written this way, and to do it this way for a reason. Effective Koala 8073. Relationship struggles. Is it because of money? I preface all of this to say I grew up in the lower class and watched my parents struggle and continue to struggle to pay their bills. I, 23 man, have been listening to Dave Ramsey for a year plus now and want to break the cycle of living paycheck to paycheck. So do it. That I watched my parents do growing up. Great. However, my biggest problem with this is my relationship. Yep. Met my girlfriend, 23 female, on an internship. Long story short, the internship ended and she went back to North Carolina while I stayed in Florida. Things were going well for a good while because I was able to fly up. And now you can't fly up because you're going to try to be more responsible with money now, right? Let's see. That's just a guess. While I was able to fly up and see her once a month, if not every 2 weeks. That's too much money on that, my friend. But once I started getting more into the baby steps, I started having more and more problems with our relationship. Focusing on paying off debt. Does she come see you ever? Focusing on paying off my debt as quickly as possible. I've had to make decisions that include not being able to fly up and see her every couple of weeks, right? Job is not helping as I just started training for a new job and can't really visit even if you wanted to. Okay, great. So, that's your job. You know that. This has put a strain on our relationship as she feels like, for her, that you're not giving as much to your relationship as you used to. You're not. You're trying to set up your financial future that would include her if you guys get married. I've tried to explain to her about Dave Ramsey and how I'm doing these things for us, but she doesn't understand or /care to even attempt to understand. Okay, so if that's the case, not going to break up with her. Not going to be your girlfriend. If that's enough to break up with her, which if she doesn't even care to attempt to understand. That could be your way of looking at it. She may just not understand or pretend she doesn't understand because she doesn't want life to go like that, which is tough. You got to accept reality, unfortunately. This has led to arguments about how I'm putting money before a relationship, and it seems like I'm not making her more of a priority. Again, has she come to see you? So, if so, that is dumb for her to even say that if she has not flown to see you. She asked me the other night if I'd ever thought about breaking up, and that has kind of rattled me. And my way of thinking, it's becoming a, do I put my mask on first before helping my relationship? Yes. Or because guess what? Guess what? That relationship can end at any time. You and your finances are going to be together forever. So that's a yes on that. Or do I need to open up to different ideas, even if that means slowing down my process of paying off my debts? That's a no. That's a no. You don't do that. You are not married yet, so you don't do the compromise. Now, if she decides that you decide to go ahead and get married, then you can compromise, and then you do whatever you want, because that, whatever you guys can agree to. But it doesn't sound like you guys can even agree to something, because you don't think she even cares enough to attempt to understand. Maybe you're just mad about it. Whatever. Let's see. I understand I have an unhealthy relationship with money. You have an unhealthy relationship with that girl too. And I'm trying to work it out. I just really want to break the cycle, and it's costing me my relationship to do so. Okay, that's tough. It shouldn't do that. You wanting to make your finances better should not cost you a relationship. So, personally, I don't think she's worth your time if she can't understand what you're trying to do. Especially if she's not putting her money where her mouth is, by coming to see you ever. What does she pay for? Do you have to pay for everything because you're the man? You know, what's going on here? I would need a little bit more information on this, but this basically would be, you can call John Deloney's show about this. I mean, you might have to pick one. Do you really want to break the cycle, or do you want to keep her and let her have her way with everything all the time? Because that's going to set the precedent for that. Any advice, suggestions, your opinion, really anything that could help would be greatly appreciated. Well, you are welcome. Not necessarily that you heard this, but maybe somebody's similar situation that might hear that one day. As it says, you do have to narrow down to what is really important to you in a relationship. Yeah, at the same time, you have to be realistic and realize the more must-have things you add. Oh, okay. Trey says there's more issues with their relationship than he is willing to admit, usually. The lower the chance you have of finding someone. Right. The more stipulations that you have, the less chance you have of finding someone that's going to agree to all those stipulations. That's true. Trey doesn't have a large list of requirements. They're just not common ones. All right. Living a long ways apart too. That is tough as well. You know, I mean, you could ask the same thing. If she was committed to the relationship, why did she go back home? Why didn't she stay with you? She met you where you live, and she was interning there. Why didn't she stay there and get a job there? So, you know, it seems like you have to do everything, and she's putting it all on you. And I don't want a relationship like that. Rascals Lady, 11. Baby step 2, all right. Baby step 2 flare right there, just in case we didn't believe her, I think. I've been in debt due to medical reasons. What I did is summed up all my credit card debt across 5 of them and locked my loan to 3-year term. I am still undergoing procedures until my doctor says I'm free from it. All right. Aside from that, I only have our monthly budget and recurring medical bills. I don't have a kid. I don't have a kid and lives with mom and dad for a reason. Excuse me. I'm physically challenged, stuck on a wheelchair, so I would probably skip some of the steps and stay with a fervent hope that I will get healed and be debt-free with God's help and guidance. Don't get me wrong, every now and then I get to adjust our expenses on the best way to save money most of the time, but I still feel I suck at budgeting. Well, I mean, if you're not working, so you keep saying our, who is our? So I don't know if you're with somebody or not, but shouldn't be living with or have finances combined with somebody else. And of course, if you're having all these medical bills, that probably hurts them more than it does you, though. But that is not the advice. And it's also, you're not trying to pay off bills before being able to cash flow future. If you have other treatments, what is it? Procedures. If you have other procedures, you should be paying for those and only paying minimums on your debt. So I don't know that it's a budget thing, but it's not really difficult. You just make it the lowest it possibly can be. Only necessary things on there. Only 100% necessary things, especially in your situation where we don't know how much income there is and don't know the whole story at all. N4RC 1SS, is that Narcless? Is that what that means? Second mortgage, looking for folks to weigh in. Which is the better course of action? Paying second mortgage as part of baby step 2 or baby step 6? It's part of baby step 2. And so the best advice might be for you to sell that rental property or toy, if that's a vacation house or something. But if it's rental property, you buy that only in cash. So to get back to that, you would just sell that and not have that. And so if you still have the first mortgage, you would sell the rental and put that money to the primary mortgage, your residence, instead. So you're doing it wrong, sounds like. Pia Pistachio, recommendations for investments and how to make more money once out of debt. First of all, put more thought to getting out of debt before investing and how to make more money. Okay, people love to get ahead of it. I mean, and at this point, we don't know if you ever even will get out of debt. Who knows? Are there people similar to Dave that offer advice on what to do once you're out of debt to invest money in or making passive income? Yeah, there's tons of people on TikTok, but their ways are not proven. They don't have the millions of documented success stories that Dave has for following his baby steps. And as far as the individual investments, Dave does have recommendations for that, but a lot of people don't like it because it doesn't allow for all these TikTok ideas or like any new ideas that may or may not work. And most of them don't work. Most new businesses fail. So he recommends, very smartly, he recommends what you invest in is mutual funds and real estate that you pay for in cash only in full. And so that's how you make the money, by never having debt on it. That's how you do that. But first, you got to get out of debt, so you're thinking ahead for no reason, because you're nowhere near being able to do that. I've been lucky enough to have dug myself out of a hole. Moving back in with your parents after the breakup has its advantages, I guess. LOL. And I've eliminated my debt and now luckily sitting on a great high yield savings account, which is nice. You should have a full emergency fund first, follow the baby steps. But I feel like there's got to be more that I can do with this money. No, you don't get... so if you're out of debt, you would have the full emergency fund and then move out again and be your own person again. Don't be looking for some... Oh, I'm going to throw it into some investment that may or may not work. Do not do that. I work in a wealthy area that seems like nobody works and they all just have passive forms of income. Okay, if they do and you are friends with any of them, even if you're not friends with anyone, ask them what they're doing. And now they may not want to tell you because that'll be more competition for them if you do that same thing in that area. It's possible, but they might tell you. And then you got to do a bunch of research to see how much it is, how much it will do. And also, you got to be careful there because people call up Mr. Ramsey all the time on the show and ask them about taking out, starting their business and taking out a loan. And the most recent young lady that called about that, she was very, very emotional about it. And she was like, I did all the research. It's 100% going to work. You cannot guarantee that. So she's like, I did all my research. It's definitely going to work. You do not know that for sure. And so there's no debt on that. You don't do that. You only take out debt for a house that you are going to live in. Rental property has to be paid for completely in cash. And so that's how you do passive forms of income. You do not have debt. You do not start it with debt. Now, since you have money, though, as I said, since you piled up some money, you need to have $1 million. You need to have a full emergency fund before you do any other type of investing at all, even the 15% of your gross income into retirement, okay? And so until you get step 3, there is no, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and blah, blah, blah. You build businesses at the speed of cash. That means you start doing it out of your garage or something like that. And then you put you live off of your job salary, and out of your business income, you put all that back into the business until the business grows and grows and grows. Hopefully. Or if it goes out of business, since you paid everything with cash, since you cash flowed it all, guess what? Doesn't matter. Sucks that all that money was wasted, but now you know how hard business is, and you won't be so quick to do the next dumb investment. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, Welder 9760, frequent poster on here. Start dating again in baby step 3. Hi everyone. Recently became debt free and began working on building baby step 3. I've also been thinking about dating again, so I asked a woman out for a burger. She gave me a number, but hasn't been very responsive. And now I feel like I wasted those $5. What? Which could have been lunch for me. What do you mean, those $5? You bought a $5 burger and you feel like that was a waste? After you went out with her? I mean, I don't know what that means. Yeah, I mean, it may not work out. It's not guaranteed. And you can think about this the same as a business. You don't go into debt to finance this. You get your full emergency fund before you spend any money on dates and stuff. Do what's important first. Which could have been, let's see, a lunch for me. I'm wondering what y'all think about dating when I only have my beginner emergency fund and not much extra to spare. Then that's a no. I mean, you can ask somebody on a date, but you're not going to be spending money. Is it wise to date at this stage, or should I wait until I'm further along financially? You can date. She just has to agree to a free one. How about that? And if that's not good enough, maybe she's not good enough for you. Ethan 44, wife has been financially draining us. Beep, beep, beep. Wait a minute, I have that handy. There we go. Wife and I are in our young 30s. We both have been Dave-ish for our entire relationship. Look what I got you. Going on 14 years. So you were doing it wrong. We've never had consumer debt, invested when we could, and were able to pay off our first mortgage after 9 years. Fabulous. We've also never budgeted, but instead worked hard and lived below our means. All right, that's kind of like, if you're keeping it below your means, it's kind of like budgeting, but you don't know where all the money's going, though. It's good to know where all of it's going, even though you got your bills paid and then spent money elsewhere, and wife could have been financially draining you a while without knowing. Let's see. We kept saving our money and then put 20% down on a mortgage in 2021. That, in my opinion, was a little bit more of a house than we should have purchased. Then why'd you buy it? You would have to agree on that. You can opt out of that. You can say, you can veto that. If you're married, you can veto buying a new house. The house was $550K and we put $110K down. Total payments around $2,600. Doesn't say what this income changed a little. As I ended up changing careers, gross family income for this year is right at $12K a month. Down from $15K. Still, you ought to be able to handle it for that, unless your wife's spending every extra cent of it. Let's see, I was looking through our finances recently and learned our emergency fund, typically $60K, has been reduced to $40K for what? Tuh. We're also really short in our checking savings. I asked her about it. Initially, she brushed it off. I dove deeper and found there was a litany of ludicrous purchases. $1,400 a month shopping, clothes shopping, $670 a month for plants. See, this is how it starts. Simply blessed. Try to get me to buy a plant over and over again. But see, this is how it starts. And then next thing you know, it's $670 a month per plant. So maybe she'll watch this later and realize that she's wrong about trying to force me to get plants. Oh, actually, she gave me a super chat so I could buy one. So I guess I will do that. $450 a month in hair/nails, to name a few. Yep. So, and this is what's called, I mean, you know, she may say that technically she wasn't hiding it from you, but initially brushing it off and not telling you where the money has been going. You know, and you not even looking at those accounts until now. That part's your fault. She ended up taking some time to look into how we are burning through in excess of $12K a month. Yeah. And after seeing the numbers, she cried her eyes out. Yeah. After seeing the numbers, I too am appalled. Right, I would cry too. I've had the most difficult year of my career and have nothing to show for it. Right, because she spent all your money. And also, you were negligent in keeping track of it. And you may have spent money on crap too that you're just not considering because it might not add up to all that amount that she spent. And so that doesn't mean you're any better than her just because your spending was lower than hers. Moving forward, I intend to be more diligent on monitoring her/our spending. Absolutely, you monitor yours too. It'll be difficult as I don't have much time. I'm feeling a little what are you doing with your time? How much are you working a day? Feeling a little resentful at the moment. That's understandable, and I don't want to be too hard on her. That's understandable too. How can I continue to work? Working 60 plus hours a week and she's spending it. Yeah, if she's not working, that's a problem. And still have time for my kids. Oh, she may be home taking care of the kids, so that is work. And now budgeting. I've never done the budgeting aspects of Dave Ramsey before. With her help, we, mostly her, drafted our first budget. Okay, and if you approved it, guess what? That's on you if she sticks to it. If it has extra stuff on there. How do you stick to it? You don't buy stuff that's not on there. How often are budget meetings? As much as they are needed. You budget for the whole month, so supposedly not needed unless something comes up that month. And if it's something that is not 100% necessary, then guess what? Then you don't buy that. Not if you have, oh, I have a chance to go with friends to a concert to see Taylor Swift, or to go see some like football game or something like that. Yeah, you don't. You don't, because you didn't know about it in advance. So how you would fix that is you would have a little bit of spending money, and you can save up your spending money every month. And then the next time that tickets come up or something like that comes up, then you would have that money left from your fund money. How long is everyone spending on their budget? It depends. If you guys have never done it before, generally it takes about 3 months to get a handle on it. Edit, thank you for all the input. It helped immensely. Wife and I had another conversation that she initiated and was extremely apologetic and sincere. Okay. I did my best to reassure that I'm also to blame. That's correct. Went over the budget again. Found our minimal household operating budget, $8,500. And are proceeding from there. 85 is still a lot, dog. I'm going to look into what all that stuff is, man. That is still a lot. Without getting as specific, it's a high number because I have 2 businesses that are still active, and the combined insurance plus operating expenses are about $12K annually. So that is only $1,000 a month. Where's the rest of it coming from? It's more than $1,000 discrepancy that I think is happening here, unless you live in California or some super high cost of living area. Let's see. We also have a rental property in addition to our primary, but the utilities come out of our account for said rental property. I'm also diabetic, and my individual costs to keep me alive are around $650 per month. Okay, wow, we must have to have, doesn't cost me nearly that much, fortunately. Must have to still do insulin and stuff like that. I don't have to do that, fortunately. Pills and change diet work for me. Our mortgage payment we have set at $2,800, right? You said that already. So you know what you can do? Sell that rental property, whether it's got a mortgage on it or not. Sell that rental property. Serious, and that fixes you immediately, doesn't it? All that to say, I'm very grateful for everyone's input. I went from being panicked and resentful to being excited and motivated. Really proud of my wife, and just glad I was able to approach it with the right attitude. Yeah, that's a good idea, and that's how you keep your marriage together. But yeah, I got questions on the 2 businesses. Do you need to have them still active? Are they bringing in money? I mean, you have to insurance and operating expenses for them. Are they at least breaking even with the horizon of them making money? Or if they are already making money now, outside of just the extra time that you're spending on it. So maybe he's working 40 at a regular job and then 20 on both of these businesses. But I would look more into the businesses, and I would probably sell that rental property. And that can get you in a much better state. Again. So the emergency fund going back up by $20,000, that should be done. If you needed that much emergency fund before, you should have it now. But again, that rental property, if you have a mortgage on that, definitely sell it. Even if you don't have one on, definitely sell it as well. And that money should go towards your residential mortgage. Alrighty. Let's see if there's any. Okay, that'll do it for this episode of answering your financial questions. Once again, I am Coach Steve Money. And you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me if you have money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track. You can do that at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. You can email me if you have any questions about the financial coaching or anything else on my YouTube channel at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App, $CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, again, for a Walmart gift card, for coachstevemoney@gmail.com is where you set that card to go to. Also, super chats and super thanks via the YouTube. YouTube do take a bite of that. They get 30% of that. Upcoming streams, this show, answering your financial questions. That's Saturdays and Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Ramsey Show After Show is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time. And on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at that same time, 5:25 p.m. Eastern Time, the Ramsey Show Chat Refugee streams, because the last hour of the Ramsey Show is now exclusively on their app and there's no chat on there. And so it's just basically a place to chat, and I do have other content on there. Most times. Sometimes it's just a picture of my plugs. Alrighty. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And of course, make smart financial decisions every day.